Coming up tonight, Syracuse Chancellor Kent Sievert complies with a list of student demands regarding the multiple racial and religious incidents over the past 2 weeks.
SUNY Oswego receives national recognition for its Vote Oswego initiative.
And New York sees its second vaping-related death.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Peter Wendler.
And I'm Stephanie Stoiko.
Syracuse University Chancellor Kent Sievert signed the list of demands posted by students partaking in the Not Again SU sit-in protest. Students began to speak out after a series of incidents over the last 2 weeks that began with racist graffiti discovered on a bathroom stall in a residence hall. Protesters demanded Sievert sign their demand list in its entirety or protest or resign. Protesters also called for the resignation of the campus chief of police and vice chancellor of enrollment and student experience.
In signing the list, Sievert said he was showing support for the solutions presented by forward-thinking students. The university issued a signed memorandum using 3 red lines to indicate where changes were made to put the demands in compliance with the law. Some of the demands include a clearer policy against hate speech, updated diversity education for incoming students and staff, and additional financial aid for students of color. Sievert met with students and members of the community at a forum where he said this is not a reflection of the standard for Syracuse.
I did this while raising a mixed-race family in the South. My kids were threatened. My wife.
One freshman was arrested in connection to pro-protest graffiti and was charged with 2 misdemeanors. Sievert says he plans to continue meeting with students.
An Oswego professor earned a bronze seal from the All-In Campus Democracy Challenge in Washington, D.C. Assistant Professor Allison Rank at the Political Science Department was a co-recipient of the National Honor as well as the 2019 Standout Faculty Award, which recognizes faculty members who go above and beyond to promote civic engagement inside and outside the classroom. Rank has also contributed to helping other campuses increase their educational value of their civic involvement campaigns through a collaboration with the organization Democracy Works.
The American Red Cross is holding a blood drive tomorrow in room 114 in the Marano Campus Center from 11 a.m. to 5. The Red Cross is encouraging all eligible donors to consider giving as there is currently a national shortage of blood. For those who are new to donating blood, a whole blood donation takes about 8 to 10 minutes and you will be provided a snack and something to drink afterwards.
The Oswego County Historical Society is set to celebrate their holiday season at its annual Victorian Christmas Open House. This year's open house will be held on Sunday, December 1st from 1 to 5 p.m. at the Richard Bass House Museum in Oswego. Board trustee Lynn Patterson says the museum dining room will be beautifully decorated in the style of the Victorian Christmas celebrations that took place in the 1800s. This year's special theme is Walk Back in Time. The event is free and open to the public.
All campus dining hall will be closed starting Wednesday next week. Not a problem for students who will be traveling home for Thanksgiving, but many students don't have that option. Auxiliary Services is collaborating with the Salvation Army and Oswego Alliance Church to provide meals for students downtown over the break. Oswego Director of Dining Services also encouraged students to take care of advantage to Get Food delivery service.
On Thanksgiving Day, our Get Food partners will also close, but on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and early Sunday, they are able to order from any of the Get Food partners if they have Laker Dining Dollars, and they will be responsible for their own Laker Dining Dollars.
Well, it's nice of her to have students that planning to have options to dining services. So what is your guys' plans for Thanksgiving break?
Well, I'm going to be headed back home and enjoy a fantastic meal with my family and some fantastic John Wayne Western movies.
Nice. What about you?
I'll be headed home to Rochester for a big dinner with my family, and I'm mostly looking forward to all the pumpkin pie.
Well,
That's what I'm most excited for.
I'm just going to work over Thanksgiving break.
Hope you get a chance for some turkey, too.
Yeah. All right.
30-year-old Manhattan resident has become the state's second fatality in relation to the vaping crisis. News of the death was released today from the governor's office, with Cuomo saying, quote, "If you don't know what you're smoking, don't smoke it." In a news release this morning, there have been more than 2,000 reported cases of vaping-related illnesses nationwide, including at least 39 deaths. More than 165 cases have been reported in New York, including some in central New York.
Several police officers from across central New York stormed a meeting room at the Syracuse jail in protest of the state's new criminal justice reform. The reforms include releasing many suspects accused of a crime prior to their trial. The move by the state intends to keep fewer people incarcerated before they are convicted of crimes. Onondaga County Sheriff Gene Conway warned the public that such a reform will, quote, create chaos in the criminal justice system and pose a danger to citizens.
New York State Police are asking for the public's help in finding a 17-year-old William J. Larson Jr. who is wanted for questioning following a house fire in western New York that left at least 2 people dead. Troopers say the suspect was spotted near the blaze and left the scene while firefighters worked to put out the fire. Anyone with information about the suspect is asked to call 585-344-6200.
Coming up later tonight, an update on Gordon Sondland's quid pro quo statements during the impeachment hearing.
And Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is indicted on multiple charges. All this after the break.
Now let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Mike Brown.
Mike, how are things looking for the week ahead?
Yeah, guys, it's actually looking pretty active out there right now. Not behind me right now, maybe some technical difficulties, but we do have some widespread showers for the area across New York. See, looking right now, we have some light showers as Oswego. West of us in Rochester, we have some moderate showers that will be making its way towards us. Taking a quick look at our high temperatures, 48 here for Oswego, 44 Pulaski, but looking towards tomorrow, it's not looking this warm. I'll have that and more right after the break. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Michael Brown, here to take a quick look at our current weather and what to expect for the rest of the week. So now let's take a quick look at the country as a whole. We have a strong cold front across the country with dropping temperatures nearly 20 degrees here in Oklahoma City. How does that matter for us? I'll get to that in a little bit. This cold front is associated with the storm that's pushing over the Great Lakes region and bringing to our area some rain. We have widespread rain in the area with some higher elevation snow. This batch to our west over Rochester with a little bit heavier rain and making our way out east to us here in Oswego. I'm going to time that out for you guys right now. So 10 o'clock right now, we have some moderate rain making its way into the Oswego area. Temperatures in the mid-40s, not that bad, but as we progress overnight into tomorrow morning, temperatures are still in the mid-40s. This is right before this front that I talked about approaches the area and pushes through. We have some scattered showers, but when that front pushes through, wow, those temperatures drop rather quickly into the mid-30s. By 1 p.m., we do have some scattered snow showers, but likely won't be sticking because these temperatures are still above freezing. But as we go into the night, overnight, if you're out and about on Friday, watch for those slick spots as we push below freezing. As we go into Saturday morning, into the afternoon, temperatures recover into the 40s, so any icy spots will melt rather quickly. Same as we go into Saturday afternoon, remaining mostly clear. Now let's take a look at the big story, the winds. Right now, winds 15 to 25 miles per hour, increasing overnight. But for your morning commute, walking to school, winds are pretty gusty, sustained near 30 and possibly gusting to 50 miles an hour near the lakeshore. As we push in the afternoon, those winds stay fairly consistent near 30 miles an hour in Oswego, 20 to 30 region-wide. But as we push overnight, the winds begin to die down. Here in the Oswego area, still pretty strong, sustained around 20 miles an hour. 12 in Oneida Lake. But overall, the full region, Saturday, winds die down and keep dying down for your Saturday. And now, let's take a look at your trash can forecast. If your trash days tomorrow, maybe you got your recycling out, please make sure those cans are in a secure area. If not, those gusts, sending them into your neighbor's yard. Now, let's take a quick recap for the Oswego area. Looking at temperatures in the low to mid-40s with winds increasing out of the south, 15 to 25 miles an hour. Going into our Friday, we have temperatures that will be maxing out near 40 early in the morning. So our high temperature is occurring around 8 or 9 in the morning. So as you push in the afternoon, temperatures will actually be getting colder into the 30s with that strong west wind, 20 to 30 miles per hour. Now let's take a look at our 7-day forecast here for the weekend. Mid-40s, not too bad. Sunny for Saturday, but Saturday night into Sunday is looking a little rainy. But as we push into our week, mainly cloudy with temperatures in the 40s to 50, chance of rain Wednesday. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Michael Brown. More news and sports after the break.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. During Wednesday's impeachment inquiry, Ambassador Gordon Sondland implicated President Donald Trump, his personal lawyer Rudy Giuliani, and anyone in Trump's personal circle in creating a quid pro quo in Ukraine, saying, quote, everyone was in the loop. House Republicans such as Representative Kevin McCarthy were quick to denounce Sondland's testimony.
Well, I think it's very clear there was no quid pro quo. I think if you look at Sondland and the length of the interview, I would sum it up with one individual asking him questions, Congressman Mike Turner. He asked him, "Is anybody on the planet tell you in the process there had to be a quid pro quo or anything with holding up the aid?" He said no. So, one question to sum up the entire interview. And again, after that interview, you wonder why they continue forward.
House Republicans say because Ukraine received the military aid the Democrats claim Trump would have used to get an investigation of Hunter Biden, that there is no quid pro quo. Democrats say Ukraine only got the aid because Trump was caught.
A vigil has been held for Gracie Muehlberger, who was a victim of the recent Saugus school shooting in Santa Clarita, California. Friends and family gathered at the vigil for the student in her hometown of Ellisville, Missouri. Jeff Bernthal has more.
Friends turn to their faith for strength as they remember a loving, caring friend. They say if you knew Gracie Muehlberger, you would know why they're holding candles.
When she walked in the room, she just lit it up, and all of the girls loved her and just really loved spending time with her. She was a fashionista. She was always dressed to the nines, and she was just a doll.
Gracie grew up in the St. Louis area. It's clear how hard her loss has hit her friends. A message from Gracie's mom was read by a family friend.
Her light will shine forever until my last breath.
One of the school shooting survivors in California created a video, and part of her message was shared.
Gracie was unique, and she cared about others the way no one else could. Just by being around her was one of the best feelings in the world, and I wish I could be around her just one last time.
The shooting was yet another reminder about how precious life is and how important it is to reach out to anyone who appears disconnected. There's no known motive for why a fellow student shot Gracie and other classmates before killing himself. Friends say Gracie's impact on others is what will last forever.
She's impacted lives in California, in Missouri, and, I'm sure all across the country.
She was a bright, shining light, so we thought that a candlelight vigil would be a great place to honor her.
Friends of the Muehlbergers want them to know they're here for support and will never forget Gracie.
Our hearts break for them, but we're just thankful that they have the hope that they'll get to see Gracie again, and we will too.
With God's grace, everyone will get through this.
Students gathered together to hold a candlelight vigil to mourn the loss of their friend and say her legacy will never be forgotten.
Lead singer Chris Martin of the band Coldplay told the BBC the band wants to take time to consider how their future tours can be made environmentally friendly. Instead of being carbon neutral, Martin says the band wants to have a positive impact on the environment. It is estimated live music generates 405,000 tons of greenhouse gas emissions in the UK annually. The emissions come from traveling fans, production of merchandise, powering spotlights, and transporting the stage setup. Coldplay will give 2 performances in Amman this Friday to mark the release of its new album, Everyday Life. All proceeds from the concert will go to an environmental nonprofit.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is facing charges of bribery, fraud, and breach of trust in 3 separate corruption cases. This will mark the first time in Israel's history that a sitting prime minister faces indictment in a criminal investigation. Netanyahu has refused repeated calls from opposition lawmakers to step down. He is only required to step down after any conviction and subsequent appeals process is underway, which could take years. Netanyahu and his allies have characterized the legal process as a media-fueled witch hunt, promising there will be nothing because there is nothing.
A man has been arrested on murder and kidnapping charges after being shot by police with non-lethal bullets in California. The man, Antonio Silva, was arrested in relation to the murder of Adrian Bonar, an Army veteran who was found inside the trunk of an abandoned Lexus in Anaheim. Stacy Butler has the story. Anaheim police are asking for anyone with information on Antonio Silva to call them. The relationship between Silva and Benar is not known at this time.
A woman is reunited with a koala she saved from an Australian bushfire. Tony Doherty was greeted with a hero's welcome by workers at the animal hospital after a video of her rescuing a stranded koala went viral. "I knew if we didn't get him down from the tree, he would have been up there amongst the flames," Doherty said. The koala is now named Lewis after one of Doherty's 7 grandchildren, and hospital staff says as Lewis recovers, he will receive extra fluids and food.
Coming up in sports, Owen Gallagher.
Owen, can you give us a quick preview?
Yeah, guys, so you know what? Oswego men's and women's hockey teams will be in action again this weekend. And, of course, there was a special moment at MSG, so we'll take a look back at what made that so memorable. I'll have the full report coming up after the break. Stay tuned. You're watching WTOP 10 Nightly News. Welcome back to 10 Sports. I'm Owen Gallagher. Coming off of one of the worst losses in school history, the Lakers men's hockey team will hit the road to play Hobart Friday night. Oswego lost to Hobart last year in the Division III playoffs. Interestingly enough, the game followed a loss to Geneseo as well. Ed Gosick and company hope their offense travels with them to Geneva. On the flip, Hobart enters the game off after splitting their games last weekend. A 2-1 loss to number 1 Norwich was followed by an impressive 8-goal performance against Castleton. That puck drop is set for 7 p.m. Friday. And the Lady Lakers will hit the ice this weekend as well. With a pair of games, they host Canton tomorrow evening, and then Oswego heads up to the North Country to square off against Potsdam Saturday afternoon. As for their opponents, well, Canton enters the contest 0-4-1, while Potsdam sits at 3-3. The Lakers trail Potsdam in the standings by 1 point and can make up significant ground this weekend if they go 2-0. Puck drop is set Friday, again, 7 p.m. And a tearful moment at the Rangers game last night. Luke, a young Rangers fan, thinks he has won a Rangers jersey, but this one is what you call a special delivery. Not because of the package, but instead because of the carrier. The man bringing him the jersey is his father, who had been stationed in Afghanistan the past year. It was an emotional reunion, with both father and son shedding a tear as they hugged. Fans, along with Rangers and Capitals players, cheered the two on for several minutes before play resumed. The Rangers won the game, but that's all it was, a game. The final score just doesn't feel as important anymore. Some things go beyond the game. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, and that right there had said it all. Here's a young boy overjoyed to be reunited with his dad. A special moment for all in attendance at MSG. And with the Rangers playing in the Garden last night, that means the Knicks, they were on the road in Philly. City of Brotherly Love, take on the 76ers. The reason we're starting this highlighting Ben Simmons, there's a graphic there. Simmons enters the game 0-for-17 in career three-pointers. He gets it in the corner and pulls the trigger. Simmons, it's good! 1-for-18, mark it. Ben Simmons' first career three-pointer. His last in-game three-pointer was 1,451 days ago at LSU. Can you believe it? Remember this kid's beef, balance, eyes, elbow, follow through. Simmons checks them all off as he drains the three, but fast forward now, Knicks Taj Gibson spinorama and a thunderous two-hand slam. Taj Gibson. Again, now we're going to go to Julius Randle, the other power forward they signed because they got enough of them. Banks it off the glass at an impossible angle, and look out, Randle misses, but R.J. Barrett, get up, young fella. R.J. Barrett with the impressive putback slam. 1:46 left in the third, and it's going to be the Sixers down 15. Ben Simmons reverse slam with contact, looking for a call, doesn't get it. Outlet to Simmons, to Embiid. Embiid dunks it in between two defenders. And that puts the 76ers tied after being down 17 in the third quarter. Can you believe it? If you're a Knicks fan, you can. Mike Scott for three. Another one. Get him the ball. Get him the rock in rhythm. Mike Scott bangs home another triple. That puts him up with just under a minute left. Philadelphia has a chance for the dagger. Joel Embiid, again, in rhythm, steps into it. Bang! Embiid puts the icing on the cake. 76ers take this one, 109-104. And that's all we got for sports. Stay tuned after the break. We'll have more news coming up. You're watching WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Well, that's our report for the night. Be sure to stay tuned for the next OP.
Thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.